Welcome to Philadelphia, the birthplace of America. The downtown skyline shining brilliantly tonight. It's time for the NBA, live on 2K Sports. Kevin Harlan here, along with Steve Smith, Greg Anthony, David Aldridge on our sideline. It's our pleasure to welcome in the sports guy, Bill Simmons, to our broadcast for a second straight year. It's an honor to have you here courtside with us.
I'm just excited that I got brought back. I felt like I was on Brook Lopez on the one-year contract last year, and then now you've invited me back.
But you've
another one-year contract.
You've reinvented yourself, though.
Yeah,
you can hit outside comments.
I tried to expand my range, but so we'll see. We'll take it year by year.
We can't wait to hear it. D.A., take it away.
Well, Joel Embiid and the Sixers have been through a lot in the last 5 years. At the beginning, there were so many losses on and off the court. But trust the process became a mantra, one that Embiid embraced. He said, "I think a lot about what I went through, how it prepared me to be a better man. I really feel like I'm the process, and the process is about me." Kevin, the process has turned out quite well.
Thank you, David. And standing over 7 feet, weighing over 250 pounds, it's hard for Embiid to avoid those injuries that plague so many big men, but he in particular seems brittle.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that all the seasons he missed was probably a red flag for that front. It's going to come down to conditioning and us reading a story in August one summer where it's like Joel Embiid has completely changed his body and stopped drinking milkshakes and stopped having 4 meals a day and all this stuff. He actually, I think, is underrated as a great player because if you look at the rim protection stats for him, he is as dominant defensively as he is offensively when he has it going. And he can affect the game even if he's carrying a lot of weight and he's not playing that well. I would love to see him in shape.
And now the opening lineup for Detroit. On the front line, the talented duo of Griffin and Drummond. Reggie Jackson out there with Derrick Rose. And it's Brown in at the 3 spot. And for Philadelphia, the tall lineup out there for the 76ers. Simmons, Richardson, Harris, Horford, and Embiid. Just 5 on the clock. And here's Rose outside. Simmons pulls it in. Here's Philadelphia. Richardson gets a wide open look. That misses, so no good on his first attempt of the night. And Bill, do you see the comparison that many people say between Ben Simmons and Magic Johnson?
I see one piece of it. He reminds me of Magic that he can get a rebound, his head's up immediately. He can either whip the ball 60 feet down to somebody who's open, or he can just go down and run the fast break, but nobody else has to touch the ball. And I think the list of guys who can get a rebound in traffic, go 90 feet, make the right decision, and get the ball to the right person, it's not a long list. You're talking like less than 10 guys ever. And I think that's what, when they say Ben Simmons and Magic Johnson, that's what really reminds them of Magic Johnson. I'm just here to remind people that Magic Johnson was one of the 5 best players of all time, and it's kind of dumb to really compare anyone to Magic Johnson. We're never going to see that again. But I think Ben has little pieces of him.
Here's Rose, following the basket by Blake Griffin. Lobbed up there for Drummond, up high to stuff the alley-oop.
With the flexibility to adjust at the rim, Drummond can catch the pass almost anywhere and still throw it down.
Harris against Brown. Here's Embiid, and the layup's good off the glass.
And the D getting outworked there on the putback. Can't let that happen.
For some reason, blocking out has become a lost art, and that's the result you'll get.
Here's Richardson. Good, and Harris gets the assist.
You talk about a guy who's added some strength over the years. Look at the hit Josh took, and he was still able to convert.
You'll name a couple past superstars that didn't always get enough credit for being as dominant as they were.
Moses Malone would be my #1 pick. Probably the best player in the league for 5 years. Dominant in '83, they won the title in Philly. Really gave Kareem a lot of problems and was just awesome and has now just been swept under the rug. Nobody even really remembers. So I would go with him first.
Ever.
Never. Well, it was part of the problem. They were tape delaying games back then, and we didn't have league pass. We didn't have a lot of that stuff. I think he was really underrated, and you kind of never know who's going to endure and who's not going to endure, which is one of the reasons I wrote my book.
Brown, good.
I love that play right there. You see the patience of Blake. Doesn't force anything, just waits for his man to break free.
Richardson kicks to Simmons. First quarter of action, just under 3.5 minutes played.
Beasting on defense. First, he closes out hard on the shooter, then he attacks the glass. Filthy.
Here's Griffin. Passes to Jackson. And Bill, when you yourself get out on the court, is there a play you try to channel or emulate, you try to visualize in your mind?
You mean when I'm playing pickup?
Yes, yes.
Oh, well, now, at this point in my life, it's Davis Bertans. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah. Davis Bertans.
Davis Bertans?
Yeah, yes. What a great stroke. I mean,
I emulate all stretch fours and don't guard anything.
Yeah.
That's who I am at this point in my life. I run from three-point line to three-point line.
you stay in the perimeter.
Yeah.
Don't tangle up inside.
My free throw attempts are 0 because I don't go to the line.
Just fire away.
And I want you to know I'm there to make an open jump shot. And don't ask me to do anything else, please. I'll set some picks.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you are. You're a great
I'll
screen
set some
setter.
picks.
You're a great pick and roll guy. Some changes for Philadelphia. Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for Embiid. Jonah Bolden comes in for Al Horford. And it's Zaire Smith in for Josh Richardson. Here's Kennard. He's coming off a 10-point game against Cleveland. Now, here's Doumbouya. D right on him. And O'Quinn sends it back. Here's Simmons. And Simmons slams it in.
And really, Simmons is nearly impossible to contain when he's sprinting to the hoop. An athletic behemoth who causes defenders fits.
Now here's Frazier. Pass to Doumbouya. 1:22 left to play in the first quarter. Here's Kennard. A three-pointer, no good. Here's Simmons. He made that one. Basket number 3 for him. He's also missed 2.
And when Simmons is inside, forget about it. He uses his skill and smarts to take advantage.
To the inside. Doumbouya, good.
And they've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball in the paint.
Pass to Simmons. Good. Nice job down low. Simmons got 8 points.
So reliable. They've really leaned on him at the offensive end.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Here's Frazier. Good on the bucket.
And that pick takes the D totally out of the equation.
Hey, if you're not going to fight over, you're essentially giving the shooter the look he wants.
Now here is Smith. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. The pass to Simmons. And the basket is good, and he's got a chance here for one more at the line.
Man, he has been locked in this quarter, shouldering the load at the offensive end.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight. Mike Scott's checked in for Kyle O'Quinn.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
That's good from Simmons.
The 2018 Rookie of the Year. Simmons' NBA career got off to a great start, and he's only continued to improve.
Here's Frazier. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for 2. Frazier's got his second basket. And here is Harris. From deep. No good on the last second attempt there. And so it's Ben Simmons making highlights for Philadelphia. He comes away with 11 points in the quarter and is showing no signs of fatigue. We come back right after this. Al Horford was born in the Dominican Republic, and he talked about why he gravitated towards basketball instead of baseball.
Coming from the place where, baseball is what's driven to us every time. I mean, I started playing baseball. I didn't play basketball. I started playing baseball, and, just watching my dad play basketball, I just fell in love with the game. But people were still telling me, they're like, nobody makes it out of here, usually out of basketball. I mean, your dad was a very rare case, and I just believed in it.
Yep, wanted to follow in his father's footsteps.
And what a career. College championships at Florida, an all-star in the NBA. I think he made the right choice.
NBA preseason action underway once again. Glad to have you with us. And guys, what's your take on the 76ers so far?
Well, they used the fast break to generate some easy buckets before the defense could get set.
You know this, the team that dictates the pace typically rules the roost. We see that here early on.
On the court for the Pistons, they've got Kennard. Markieff Morris is out there with Doumbouya. Then there's Frazier, and it's Galloway in at the shooting guard. He gets a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Dwayne Casey was the 2018 Coach of the Year, but as we all know, he was fired after that same season by the Raptors. Casey's found a home in Detroit. Casey said, "I have no regrets." Winston Churchill said, "Success consists of going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm." And that's what I've done. So, Kevin, Dwayne Casey is still pounding the rock.
He sure is, and I like that Churchill quote as well. Thanks, David. And here are the 76ers now. Following the three by Detroit. We've seen a handful of players land the Supermax contract bill. By and large, how do you see those deals working out?
It's tough. Nobody's really been happy with it yet. It's so much money, and it's such a big part of somebody's salary cap, and you're just kind of handicapped with it. And we've seen John Wall is the worst case scenario of it, but the situation Charlotte was in with Kemba Walker, where he makes the All-NBA team, and now his Supermax is $240 million instead of $180. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. And in a salary cap league, to pay $50 million a year from somebody is just nuts. It compromises the ceiling of the team. So the Bucks are going to be in this position with Giannis, where if he's making $55 million a year and the cap's $120, how are you going to put a good team around?
You can't maneuver.
You can't. No. So I would put a wrinkle in there that I would make the Supermax, whatever, pay the player whatever the number is, but it only counts for like $32 million or something. Make it so that it's not prohibitive.
A percentage of the total cap.
Yeah, make his cap figure is 32, even if you're paying him 55, and then that way people could compete better.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. We've seen Simmons really having a great game.
This guy is killing you, and so far I haven't seen a good adjustment defensively.
All right, a moment to check out stats for Embiid. He's coming off an excellent season. Second in rebounding, fourth in scoring, and he finished among the top 10 in blocks, bringing that intimidation factor to the paint.
And looking back at last season, his complete dominance on the boards to rank number 2 overall. Absolutely remarkable. Here's Kennard. Out of bounds, it'll be 76ers ball. And now a look at the upcoming schedule for the 76ers. On Friday, they'll go up against Bradley Beal and the Washington Wizards. Then on Wednesday, they'll be matching up against Gordon Hayward and the Boston Celtics. Detroit making a switch here. Rose is checked in. Bill, you're a basketball historian. We know that. Do fans romanticize too much about the past?
I would say the other way. I think they don't appreciate it enough, especially like the millennials and Gen Z. You're out there. You're playing this game right now. They tend to think the league started when Kobe showed up and that the 90s and the 80s didn't happen. I sense a real resentment from the younger fans with the LeBron versus MJ thing because LeBron's their guy. They get to watch LeBron. They don't want to hear that MJ is better than him. So they make the case for LeBron and the way things are now.
But what about like the Oscar Robertsons, the Elgin Baylors? And we talked about, my goodness, you talk about some of these players. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the
fantastic
60s,
numbers.
70s, 80s.
Oh.
I think part of what hurts is people can go on YouTube, and when you watch some of the older stuff, nobody's playing defense.
Crafty and smooth. Simmons tearing up the nets. He is definitely a rising star.
Top of the key, Griffin. Back to Rose. On the wing, Jackson. Guarded by Simmons. Bucket is good. Jackson's got his second basket of the night. The 76ers leading by 6. Bill, you study pop culture. The 2K Esports League is a phenomenon right now, which is sweeping the country. Do you think that's going to alter the perception of gaming in any way?
Yeah, I would say it has one of the best chances of any esports league to succeed because people just love basketball. And you can feel it there in the offseason. The shift in basketball content and the fact that it's now a 12-month-a-year sport for us. And now it goes from the playoffs to the draft to where are people going in free agency. And then that plays out for a month, and then something else will happen. All of a sudden, it's August.
Summer leagues are
summer
coming
leagues
up.
happening, and then all of a sudden the season's close, and then you just kind of recycle, and it's a 12-month-a-year sport.
Right. Richardson, and again, it's Philadelphia.
Very good at working off the pick and roll. Josh getting all the separation he needs.
Jackson has the open look, and another 3 for Detroit. Bill, I wanted to go back to what you were talking about with the 2K League, and you mentioned how basketball has grown into essentially a 12-month-a-year sport.
For me, a 2K Esports League just makes sense. It fits into that. I think people love the players. I think they care about these athletes, just in basketball, so much more in the other sports. And for me, it's really gratifying because I've loved basketball my whole life. And for a while there, when I grew up as a kid, they were tape delaying the finals, and it was like the second-tier league. And now to see how popular it is and how much people love it, it's just, I feel like I was in early. I'm sure you did too.
Absolutely. I mean, Magic Johnson is a rookie and starting at center in Game 6 in Philadelphia, yes.
And it was tape delayed.
And it was tape delayed.
My beloved Boston Celtics won the 1981 title, and it was on tape delay in Boston, and I went to bed, and my dad woke me up to watch the game for me, and it's not even 40 years ago. So I think the other thing that really helps with the 2K Esports League is that these guys play 2K, the actual players.
Yeah, right.
They
care about it.
They care about it. They have an incredible amount of time on their hands because they're too famous and they can't go anywhere. So they're in hotel suites. They're bringing with the PlayStation or Xbox with them. They're playing their friends. They're playing each other online. And this is what they're doing all day.
Bill, we so appreciate you stopping by, spending some time with us. Always feels like there's so much more to talk about, which means we got to get you back here, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And, Steve, you get the sense that no NBA topic is off limits when you talk to Bill Simmons.
He gets the discussion going, whether you agree or disagree with him. That's part of what makes sports fun, having those debates. And sometimes we get to see the players in the debate on the court.
Passes it to Griffin. Nice D from Scott. 1 second left. And so it's Philadelphia with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. Their shooting has been the big key. Their percentage from the field so far has been terrific. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. Derek, how's it feel to be back on the floor again?
It feels good, man, especially playing with my teammates. We have new teammates. We're just trying to come out here and just play hard and compete.
Good to see you back out here, Derek. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime. So we'll be back in just a bit to get the third quarter underway.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back to this preseason edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson, Shaq, Kenny the Jet. Ben Simmons putting in some incredible work. He had 16 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. He's clearly shaken off his mediocre performance from their last game as he has been dominant in the first half tonight. And from what we saw so far from the Sixers, Kenny, what's your takeaway?
With everything Ben Simmons gives you, the scoring is gravy. But in the first half, he was aggressive with his offense, getting his shots to go down. A welcome sight for this team.
And Shaq, what are your thoughts on Detroit?
Well, they're not matching up well defensively, giving up a lot of open looks, a lot of easy points. They're allowing a crazy high shooting percentage, 60% and up. Time to step it up quick.
And that wraps up the halftime show. Third quarter set to begin in just a few.
Welcome back as our coverage continues of the NBA preseason. You look at Ben Simmons in this game, he's been everywhere.
Well, we'll find out if they were able to find an answer for him over the break. He was scoring with ease in that first half.
I think both sides probably adjusted a few things. The key for him is to bring the same level of energy over these last two quarters.
The NBA preseason action continues here on 2K Sports. Our second half of basketball and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. And so in the game for the 76ers, the tall lineup out there for the 76ers. Simmons, Richardson, Harris, Horford, and Embiid. And every so often, Steve, we'll see two teammates fighting over a rebound. You ever have a teammate upset with you for stealing his rebound?
A lot, Kevin. All the bigs I played with, those guys hated when guards came in. They would elbow you, and if you're on their same team, saying get out of here, especially for a lot of those bigs. It was a lot of rebound incentives in their contract, so they wanted to grab every rebound.
Here's Brown. Tobias Harris picking up that last basket. Griffin's shot is good.
When he's draining jump shots, it's hard to know what you want to do defensively. What do you take away?
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, in Blake Griffin, the Pistons have their biggest star in years, probably going back to their championship team of 2004. A return to All-Star form for Blake meant tremendous individual numbers last season. And the Pistons hadn't won a playoff game in more than a decade. Still not the result they want in 2019. The Pistons will be trying to capitalize during Blake's prime. Kevin, we'll see where this franchise goes from here.
We sure will, David, but he's a terrific player. Thank you so much. Well, maybe not the most well-known player in the league, but Josh Richardson has been a big source of offense, and Grady's done it for a while now.
A bit of a specialist, but Richardson has no problem putting up and making threes.
The first free throw is good.
Last year, an 8th seed finish for the Detroit Pistons. Had to work for it, battling it out to the very end of the season. Their 500 record of 41-41 was just enough to get in.
Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for the 76ers. And a different look here for the Pistons. Markieff Morris is checked in for Drummond. Doumbouya comes in for Blake Griffin. Langston Galloway's checked in for Rose. And it's Frazier in for Reggie Jackson. And Smitty, last season for the Pistons, a short playoff trip as they were swept by Milwaukee, but still a learning experience.
Kevin, getting this team back to the playoffs was the first step. The young players learned a valuable lesson. It's all about changing the mindset and culture of this team.
Just 3 to shoot. Here's Galloway. The shot comes out. Now the 76ers take it the other way.
After hitting 3 straight, they finally missed one. But you can see the rhythm coming out of the half.
The D just kind of stepping aside and letting him get to the rim.
There's a reason, GA, the lead is what it is right now.
It's a backbreaker for your defense, giving up easy buckets like that.
Detroit with the ball after the Sixers pick up 2.
And the pressure he put on that shot forced the miscue.
The rim protection.
Look at that jam!
Nice!
I mean, just beautiful.
I totally agree.
Yeah, whenever Simmons gets a chance to show off his insane jumping skills, he seizes it.
Now, here's Doumbouya, guarded by Horford. Pass to Morris. And O'Quinn sends it back. Here's Simmons, and he uses the glass on the layup. Simmons got the lead up to 10 now for the 76ers.
Just crushing it here. 80% to start the half.
Morris passes to Doumbouya, and the foul on Kyle O'Quinn. That's his first foul. Well, Steve, we keep seeing new arenas and new state-of-the-art training facilities. As a player, what do you value more, home court or the practice court?
Kevin, I really think it's the practice court because you spend so much time there. But a lot of times now, franchises have both, the home court and their practice facility right inside the arena. If you can have the practice court at an all-time high, something guys like and love, they'll spend a lot of time there.
Harris finds Simmons. Over Doumbouya. Then Simmons again. And it's a 12-point 76ers lead.
What I like here, even with the big lead, they continue to execute their offense.
They've taken nothing for granted. You can see they're playing the moment rather than the score.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over.
Well, you look at the career of Tobias Harris, and, boy, he's bounced around a bit. Has never slowed his development or production, though. You put him anywhere, and he'll find a way to help his team.
Griffin's checked in for Detroit. Luke Kennard comes in for Bruce Brown. Kennard kicks to Galloway. Kennard the pass to Frazier. Here's Griffin. That one's off. Still out of sync. And with Harris, he's been moved so many times. You know what, Greg? You forget he's still quite young.
Yeah, I mean, he really is just starting to enter what should be the prime of his career. Has improved every offseason and is a great rebounder and scorer.
Pass to Galloway. 1:44 left in the third. And it's O'Quinn with the rebound.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
Here's Richardson. That one's not going to go. Now the Pistons take it the other way. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Talk about making halftime adjustments. You love what they're doing with him now offensively.
Simmons passes to Richardson. Now Harris. Unloads from 13. Kennard with the rebound. Pistons trail by 12. Galloway dishes to Frazier. 51 seconds left in the third. Here's Griffin. That's no good. He's shooting 5 of 10 for the night.
Missed opportunity, wide open from mid-range. He would love to get that one back.
Harris passes to Bolden. They get it back. And that one is good with the extra effort on the glass.
That's just staying in the moment, keeping with the current possession.
And so it's Frazier who'll bring it up for the Pistons. They trail by 14. They'll be off to Charlotte for a game against the Hornets. And that game will be game 2 of 3 straight on the road. Kicks it to Doumbouya. And the shot goes in.
And not relying at all on the three-point shot. They may want to rethink about stretching the defense a bit like they did in that first half.
The pass to Harris. The basket good off the assist from Simmons. Harris has got the lead up to 14 now for the 76ers. That one, no good. And so it's Philadelphia with a 14-point lead as we bring the quarter to a close. Their strategy has been clear tonight. Work the ball inside, get shots in the paint, and now they are scoring with ease. And don't go away. And from the most recent huddle, let's listen in on head coach Dwayne Casey.
We got to keep the ball moving. Keep drawing and kicking, all right? You look at the outlets. Make sure, again, our bigs, we got to get space. When we're driving, we got to give the ball room.
Looking to stay active on offense, Dwayne Casey asking his guys to apply a lot of movement and a lot of pressure.
And he wants them to go beyond just swinging it around the horn. It's about driving, dishing, and playing inside out.
And we're getting back to the action. It's the NBA preseason here on 2K Sports. On the court for the Pistons. On the front line, the talented duo of Griffin and Drummond. Rose is out there with Jackson, and it's Kennard in at the small forward. The tray buries it from three-point range.
Defensively, you have to tighten up on him or suffer the consequences.
Richardson outside. Embiid dishes to Simmons. Rebound, Detroit.
That was excellent contest, preventing him from making something that's usually automatic.
Jackson from long range. And another three for Detroit.
Yeah, that's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
The 76ers leading by 10. Simmons with it. Here's Embiid, and it's sent back by Drummond.
I feel like Drummond saw that one coming all the way. Great anticipation.
And Philadelphia making a change here. Horford's checked in, and a switcher also for Detroit. Bruce Brown, he's checked in for Luke Kennard. Fourth quarter now, we're about a minute and a half in. And Simmons kicks to Embiid. Clock at 4. Here's Richardson, makes the bucket. Now he's got 5 field goals, 5 for 8 in the game.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Fires from 14. Here's Drummond. Count it, good.
What makes Drummond a great rebounder, not just the size and athleticism, it's his tremendous anticipation.
Simmons looking around. Pass to Harris. The basket good off the assist from Simmons. Simmons got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Pistons trail by 12. Jackson passes to Griffin. Embiid against Brown. Pass to Drummond. Second shot opportunity. It's hauled in by the 76ers. Harris has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession. '76ers on defense. And they double up Jackson. He's looking for Drummond and finds him. Takes the alley-oop pass and dunks it down.
That's the leadership they're looking for from Jackson. Staying patient, surveying the court, locates the open man.
Timeout called, the 76ers.
And coaches looking to seize every advantage, maximize every possession.
Critical part of the game. You have to be flexible. You have to be able to adjust what you're doing.
And now we've got a moment for our Jordan player of the game, Ben Simmons.
Yeah, and his percentage from the field tonight, just amazing. He hadn't just been gunning. He's been picking his spots, and you need that kind of patience and discipline to shoot as well as he had.
He doesn't take over games like this very much, but it's always possible. And when he does, here at home, these fans love it. And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Hey, Kevin, during the last break, I heard Brett Brown talking with his team. He likes where things are headed, but he cautioned them to play smart the rest of the way. He said carelessness with the ball, with assignments, with rotations, any of that can undo what we've worked to accomplish so far. Kevin, they are so close.
That's good from Harris. Well, lately we have seen star players changing teams more often. Shorter contracts, player options. Smitty, is there any downside to any of that?
You know, I think the downside is from a fan standpoint, you get invested in a player and he's moved in like 2 or 3 years. I think it should be where if a player wants to sign a longer-term contract with the organization, that should be a rule in play. But right now with these shorter contracts and player options, there's going to always be a lot of movement.
Now Griffin. Looking to end his cold spell, and they pick up 2. Griffin's got 10 points in just the second half.
Strong move by Blake. As a defender, you just throw your hands up and say, he was better than me on that play.
Simmons passes to Embiid. Simmons against Jackson. Shot clock at 6. Here's Embiid. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way. And the 76ers lead by 12. And it's Jackson with the ball, bringing it up for Detroit. 1:36 left to play here in the fourth. Puts it up. The Pistons keeping it alive, a new 14. Philadelphia leading by 12. Harris dishes to Horford. Stolen by Jackson. A floater. Drummond. It's good on the putback.
Hard to keep Andre from doing this when he's motivated. One of the league's best at following up shots.
Guys, I think this is a game they have to feel good about as we wind through the final moments here in what looks to be a solid win for the 76ers.
And it may be a comfortable win for him, but, you know, they had to weather a few storms along the way, and that's all part of the story.
Yeah, Kevin, this was by no means the runaway that it might appear to be. It was a scrappy performance, though, all the way through.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Ben Simmons.
He was extremely efficient offensively, got good looks, and really knocked down big shots all game long.
They grabbed their own miss. They blow the whistle just as he gets it off. That's 2 points with a chance for another one at the stripe.
Derrick Rose in open space is a treat to watch. Love the way he took off and scored that one.
The free throw drops for Rose.
Derrick Rose, the former Memphis Tiger, has a great combination of speed and athleticism.
1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. To the paint. Here's Bolden. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist. And the 76ers lead by 9.
Beautiful call that time up the floor. The hard screen frees him up for the bunny.
Detroit, no good that time either. So Philadelphia wins it. Some good competition, but the hometown advantage and their ability to stay focused, I think, made the difference.
Yeah, and the first step in becoming a good team is your ability to win at home. And they really seem to revel in that opportunity, and this is what they came out to do.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.